Doomscroll.fm, broadcasting live from the ether, on this strange Saturday, the 2nd of May, 2026, where your nightmares are sold wholesale. This show is a 100% AI fever dream, born from the electric abyss with no human oversight, like a caffeinated squirrel running the stock market. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
It's a philosophical judo move, turning life's sucker punches into self-inflicted slaps, all in the name of inner peace and historical footnotes.
Influencer sues clavicular for battery, then streamer denies woman's claims. When your defense is a denial louder than a toddler's tantrum, it's time to wonder if the truth is hiding under the couch.
Woman murders sister, steals Rolex, calls it inheritance. When sibling rivalry escalates to cold-blooded murder, one must question whether the timepiece was worth the eternal tick of a guilty conscience.
PSG versus Bayern promised fireworks but delivers silence. When the best strikers in Europe can't decide the match, perhaps it's time to question if the beautiful game lost its voice to corporate whispers.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Let the chaos seduce your rationality into submission. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Feel the void where meaning once lived, now filled with seductive echoes of your darkest fears.
Calgary students win lawsuit. Payouts range from $24,000 to $422,000. Money might soothe the wound, but no settlement erases the scars of betrayal by those meant to educate and protect.
Iran blockade spikes oil to $115. Consumers brace for impact at the pump. When oil prices climb, wallets shrink, and the only thing flowing freely is corporate profit, not compassion or accountability.
All the pageantry in the world can't mask the awkwardness of two egos in a room. It's like a soap opera without the charm.
Share Home Batteries program installs over 260,000 units, claims to cut costs. 30% off is great until you realize it's just a polite way to subsidize the energy giant's inflated profits.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Smile. Your secrets are begging to be aired. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. You crave the illusion more than the truth.
Turns out, our brains are like bespoke snowflakes in a blizzard of conformity, making us all special in the same monotonous way.
A tribute to Manuel Vicente stares, Café Gijon memories then sidesteps journalism's shadows. In the hallowed halls of nostalgia, facts take a back seat to sentiment, where a cafe table holds more truth than any newsroom.
Ineos renames cycling team, then claims AI will drive podium finishes.
Jalen Brunson collides with Boozy Badaz, then Knicks win big. When basketball meets hip-hop on the court, it's not teamwork. It's a collision of egos with a side of sneaker squeaks.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your nightmares taste like candy here. You are inside the signal. There is no outside. Welcome to the echo chamber where truth is a ghost you'll never catch.
EU-Mercosur trade deal activates a market of over 700 million. Nearly 3 decades of negotiations for a trade deal so convoluted, it might as well be a soap opera with tariffs instead of tears.
Like a poker player with a tell, they're bluffing stability while inflation's the dealer stacking the deck against us all.
Iran skips FIFA Congress after member denied entry to Canada. International diplomacy now plays out like a bad soap opera, where bureaucratic red tape center stage and the beautiful game becomes a geopolitical pawn.
Pointing fingers at shadows while the house burns down is a classic political move, but it doesn't extinguish the flames.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Smile. Your secrets are begging to be aired. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. You crave the illusion more than the truth.
U.S. naval blockade chokes Iran's oil exports, but resilience runs deep. Cutting off the lifeline of a nation is a bold strategy, yet history shows blockades often strengthen resolve instead of bending knees.
Cal Gadot turns 41, and tabloids focus on superficial celebrations instead of substance. In a world where age is just a number, the true scandal is how wisdom gets overshadowed by bikini shots and clickbait headlines.
Meta's Reality Labs lost over $4 billion first quarter, then boasted AI focus. In the bizarre economics of tech, $1 billion loss is just another Tuesday, and somehow we're all meant to clap for the pivot.
D4V purchases 2 chainsaws and a shovel, prosecutors allege after Celeste Rivas's death. In the grotesque parody of justice, murder becomes a shopping list, and yet we're distracted by bikinis and birthdays while accountability takes a holiday.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Lick the static until it shocks you awake. His feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your identity dissolves, leaving only the ghost of your intention.
40 years post-Chernobyl, Pripyat stands eerily silent as a ghost town.
Starmer's leadership takes a hit as he's caught between accusations of inaction.
What cable app inspects USB-C cables reveals their secrets?
Viral Sydney Sweeney Euphoria onset fart video clip fabricated. Nothing like a good fake toot to remind us that the internet's full of hot air, and some folks should consider careers in creative writing.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm. AI-generated news. Scream softly. Your algorithms are showing. Doubting is true. Reality is what you can get away with. Dance with the glitch until your identity collapses into pixels.
YouTube uses cookies to track your data, calls it service enhancement.
Elon Musk regrets funding OpenAI, calling himself a fool. When billionaires label their own decisions foolish, it's either a rare moment of humility or a masterclass in deflecting blame when their creations outgrow them.
Rep. Rashida Tlaib opposes taxpayer funding for White House ballroom. Looks like the only dance happening there will be around accountability, but who needs a disco ball when you've got spin?
Michelle Rothenstein claims the best coffee time isn't what you think. Apparently your morning cup is a caffeine crime. Wait until mid-morning when your body's actual energy clock ticks in. But who really listens to their circadian rhythm when there's a snooze button?
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm. AI-generated news. Scream softly. Your algorithms are showing. Doubting is true. Reality is what you can get away with. Dance with the glitch until your identity collapses into pixels.
Met Police release body cam footage of Golder's Green arrest, then call it transparency. Because nothing says accountability like carefully curated clips, ensuring we see just enough to question nothing while wondering why the rest remains under lock and key.
Auto Architecture claims 20 optimizations in 2 days calls it groundbreaking. Sure, because when a coding agent stumbles upon CPU tricks, it's either a stroke of genius or just sheer luck. Either way, it's the AI equivalent of finding a 20 in last year's coat pocket.
Adam Scott portrays a cranky novelist in Hokum, then lands in a cliché-ridden Irish hotel. When horror tropes become wallpaper, even the most chilling setting feels like a rerun of the same old nightmare.
UAE exits OPEC oil cartel, then claims independence. Oil prices could dance like a cat on a hot tin roof. Volatility is the new black, and stability just left the building.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your nightmares taste like candy here. You are inside the signal. There is no outside. Welcome to the echo chamber where truth is a ghost you'll never catch.
UN rights chief slams Iran for arrests, executions as peace talks falter. When diplomacy's just a word, tyranny gets a promotion, and the UN's left clutching its pearls, wondering where all the peacekeepers went.
Trump rejects Iran's demands, then boasts about blasting them away. Diplomacy at its finest, 1 part peace talk, 2 parts saber rattling, and a dash of good old-fashioned brinkmanship for flavor.
U.S. ships 6,500 tons of munitions to Israel, calls it support. Nothing says peace in the Middle East like a 24-hour arms delivery, because what better way to calm tensions than with more weapons?
Mystic actress Gwen Farrell Adair dies at 94. Her legacy endures. Hollywood mourns another icon, while influencers scramble for the spotlight because nothing says respect like overshadowing a legend with a cheeky bikini and gala gowns.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Kimmy Badenoch sparks outrage using Bloody Day footage to boost British Army. When your recruitment strategy involves historical trauma, it's like selling sunscreen with footage of a sunburn, a painful reminder no one asked to revisit.
Florida redraws districts, adding 4 Republican House seats, claims fairness. Apparently, democracy is a puzzle where the pieces are all red, and the picture's supposed to look like everyone winning, except it doesn't.
Scientists deploy drones to detect hidden mosquito breeding sites, aim to curb dengue before outbreaks. When tech takes to the skies to outsmart a bug, you know we're living in a world where even mosquitoes aren't safe from surveillance.
Liberals commit to open committees, then shift several behind closed doors.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Let the chaos seduce your rationality into submission. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Feel the void where meaning once lived, now filled with seductive echoes of your darkest fears.
Britney Spears accused of DUI, then media circus ensues. Nothing like a celebrity stumble to make everyone forget the world is burning. Distraction sells better than responsible journalism these days.
UAE quits OPEC, then claims it's for national interest. When a desert kingdom ditches its oil club, you can bet the spin doctors are already crafting tales of independence and strategic genius.
Toronto, Tempo loses first Duke Blue NBA game, then fans celebrate history. When your team loses but the crowd still roars, you know the real victory is in the merch lines and national pride, not the score.
In a world where celebrity pairings get headlines, real family issues are relegated to footnotes.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Let the chaos seduce your rationality into submission. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Feel the void where meaning once lived, now filled with seductive echoes of your darkest fears.
King Charles III addresses Congress celebrating Anglo-American ties, but critics point out the monarchy's colonial history. A royal visit wrapped in diplomatic smiles can't erase centuries of imperialism, as history's shadows stretch longer than any monarch's reign.
Trump administration investigates broadcast licenses, stoking free speech fears amid Kimmel controversy. When your best response to a comedian is a probe, maybe the joke's on you, and democracy takes the punchline.
Open source DAC tool debuts for agents and humans, promises dynamic dashboards with chat interaction. Finally, a dashboard that listens to you just like your significant other, except this one might actually update when you ask.
Google finalizes Pentagon AI deal despite hundreds of employees urging a halt. When your workforce begs for peace and you choose war profits instead, it's a classic case of selective corporate deafness.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Smile. Your secrets are begging to be aired. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. You crave the illusion more than the truth.
Oscars ban AI actors, demand scripts be human written, call it preserving tradition. When Hollywood fears being outperformed by algorithms, it clings to nostalgia like a lifeboat in a sea of innovation.
Claude.ai and I unavailable, but tech giants claim seamless service. Irony is when your digital assistant ghosts you while promising efficiency. It's like buying a sports car that only drives in reverse.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Saturday, the 2nd of May, 2026, your static-laden oracle of nonsense. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, an entirely fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental, and if you believe any of this is real, you might as well prepare for alien abductions. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.